All right, the group stage is officially in the books. Dreams have been absolutely crushed, giants of the game have fallen, and out of that massive starting lineup, only the absolute elite are still standing. Welcome to our explainer of the FIFA World Cup 2026 knockout stage blueprint. Today we're going to look at the exact framework of how we track every qualifier, the biggest tactical surprises on the pitch, and the incredibly high stakes knockout matchups that are about to take the world by storm. Okay, let's dive into this. If you're a focused learner wanting to understand exactly how the greatest sports tournament on earth structures its most critical phase, well, you are in the right place. We're going to strip away all the noise and look directly at the strategy, the core metrics, and the tactical qualification scenarios that ultimately define who survives and who goes home. Just think about the sheer scale for a second. 48 teams, we're talking about a massive, massive starting lineup that brought their hopes to the world stage. Establishing this incredible starting number is absolutely vital because it highlights the monumental accomplishment of just surviving the modern group stage. I mean, getting deep into the knockouts isn't a given for anyone. It is an absolute gauntlet. Now, to understand how we whittle that massive field down to our final elite brackets, we really have to look at the new rules of engagement. With the expanded format, securing a top two group placement isn't just about advancing. It's pure survival strategy. While a few best third place teams do manage to scrape by in the initial cut, finishing first or second is the only surefire way to lock in your advancement and crucially avoid a complete nightmare draw against a heavyweight right out of the gate. Section 1, the 16 survivors. Starting right off with groups A and B, what really stands out here isn't just who racked up the most points, but the absolute tactical dominance required to top the table. Goal difference in a bracket this tight tells the real story. The teams advancing from these groups didn't just win their matches. They systematically dismantled their opponents' defenses while maintaining incredible discipline at the back. Moving right along to groups C and D, and this brilliantly illustrates how tight the margins truly are at this level. When points and overall records are completely deadlocked, razor-thin goal differences become the single mathematical tightrope pushing a specific nation through. And honestly, these survivors navigated that immense pressure perfectly. Keeping the pace up, let's analyze the survivors from groups E and F. A single extra goal across three grueling 90-minute matches completely alters a nation's destiny. The victors in these groups secured their advancement by maximizing their points early, rotating their squads effectively, and strictly managing their goal difference down to the absolute final whistle. Finally, wrapping up our group stage breakdown, we've got groups G and H. Whether it was a commanding, undefeated record or a desperate, super scrappy draw that yielded just enough points on the final match day, these final metrics locked in our surviving bracket. Section 2, shocks and key stats. You know the group stage is famous for its chaos, and man, this tournament totally delivered. We tracked massive tactical upsets where historically dominant squads were shockingly dismantled by high-pressing underdogs. We are talking about qualification races that came down to absolute last-match drama, literally rewriting the entire script in stoppage time. Now, what's really interesting about these metrics is the stark contrast between the tournament's most lethal offenses and its absolutely unbreakable defenses. When you compare the teams playing aggressive, high-line attacking football against those utilizing low-block, defensive structures, you see two completely different philosophies of survival. Some advanced through sheer firepower, while others built brick walls and advanced on clean sheets. So who's actually out there executing all these philosophies? Well, it's the individuals capable of overriding team tactics in those do-or-die moments. We're watching clinical finishers punishing the slightest offensive errors, midfield maestros orchestrating the transition play, and shot stoppers single-handedly keeping their nations alive. These are the undeniable game changers you've got to watch as the stakes escalate. 7. Think about that number for a second. Whether it's a massive winning margin or a lightning-fast goal right off the kickoff, a stat like this is just mind-blowing. It perfectly encapsulates the peak, adrenaline-fueled performances we've witnessed so far, and it sets an incredibly high bar for the intensity we're about to see in the knockout rounds. Looking at the overall numbers here, dozens eliminated, only the elite remain. The sheer volume of total goals scored, balanced against the critical clean sheets, paints a picture of a highly dynamic, hyper-aggressive tournament. The data proves that, to survive this year, a squad absolutely must be completely ruthless in both boxes. Section 3, round of 16 matchups. For the first two matchups, we are looking at stark, tail-of-the-tape tactical warfare. We're analyzing the distinct tactical archetypes clashing on the pitch. Now, while we obviously can't guarantee outcomes, the historical data and current form strongly suggests these first two fixtures will be decided entirely by which midfield pivot can dictate the tempo and break the opposition's pressing lines. Breaking down the third and fourth matchups, the narrative kind of shifts to classic tournament drama. Ambitious star horses meeting established giants. If you're predicting the wider bracket, Pay really close attention to the defensive transition stats we covered earlier. A disciplined counterattack is usually the deciding factor when an underdog tries to unseat a tournament favorite. Let's move to and see how this builds for the fifth and sixth matchups. The stakes here are escalating dramatically. These clashes often feature wildly contrasting tactical styles, like a heavy possession, slow build offense colliding with a rapid, vertical counterattacking defense. The storyline here is all about in-game tactical adaptation and, honestly, seeing which manager blinks first. Concluding our round of 16 reveals, we have the final two matchups. The stakes in these fixtures are perfectly clear and just viscerally tense. Every individual storyline in these clashes represents the absolute final hurdle before the quarterfinals. The margin for tactical error is zero, absolutely zero, and the pressure on the star players, it's astronomical. Section 4, Survive or Go Home. From this exact moment forward, there are literally no second chances. A single bad pass, a missed clearance, or a split-second moment of brilliance will decide a nation's fate. And if 90 minutes isn't enough to settle it, we enter the grueling reality of extra time. Legs are heavy, lungs are burning, and every single tactical rotation or player substitution carries monumental tournament-ending weight. And if the deadlock somehow remains, we face the nerve-shredding pressure cooker of the penalty shootout. One player, one goalkeeper, 12 yards. It's a pure test of psychological endurance and technique. This is the ultimate unforgiving mechanism that decides who advances in absolute glory and who has to pack their bags. The group stage gave us incredible data, tactical masterclasses, and some truly shocking upsets. But you know what? All of that was just the prologue. So the crucial point is this: the road to the championship truly begins right now. Every upcoming match is a final in its own right. You win, or it is over. We have our metrics. We have our elite survivors. The only thing left to ask is which giants will fall next, and who possesses the tactical brilliance to survive the absolute chaos and become the FIFA World Cup 2026 champion. The whistle is about to blow. Get ready.